Hello. What I'm going to do in this tutorial is do the most basic possible type of quest, which is going to be a unique item fetch quest. Now, it's a little bit more complicated than in previous games, and I've actually had to restart this tutorial once because I'd made too many mistakes for it to be, a suitable tutorial. But hopefully this one will go a little bit smoother. So I'm going to first start by creating my voice type for my NPC that I'm going to create, and this will just save me going backwards and forwards. So I'm going to call it SeddonNPC. Okay. And I'll save my plugin actually as well, in case something happens. SeddonQuest tutorial. So I'm going to create my NPC, and I'm just going to do the absolute bare minimum for this. So right click, new. Give him a unique ID, so SeddonNPC, will do it. A name, Seddon4494. And we'll give him a short name, just be Seddon. And then we're going to make him unique. And we're going to give him my voice type of... Did I really give my voice type the name SeddonNPC? And it's the same as this ID. Oh, good. SeddonNPC real. Okay. So there's one mistake already, but thankfully not a tutorial ending one. So now we're going to create the unique object that our NPC is going to be striving to collect. So we're going to go to the misc item section, and I'm just going to make it be any old object. So we're going to make it a piece of Abraxo. Seddon object, and I'm going to give it a unique name as well. Just call it Seddon's Abraxo Cleaner. And that's all we need to do here. We're going to hit OK, and yes, we want to create a new form. And so the final thing I'm going to create will be a suitable container to store it in. So let's have a look. Cigarette machine will do just fine, I reckon. I'm going to call it SeddonContainer, and I'll give it a unique name as well. Seddon cigarette machine. I'm just going to clear it out of everything. I mean, you can leave all that in, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to make it totally empty. Okay. And yes, we want to create a new form. So now we're going to create the quest, which will house the dialogue and the scripting for this little quest. Right click new. ID, SeddonQuest, name, Seddon search, I think. And then 45 priority. Let's think. Type, and this is just how it will show up in the stats when you complete it, basically. So it'll say Brotherhood of Steel quest completed X amount, main quest completed X amount. I'm gonna class it as a side quest. And now we could also put bonus completion XP in here, so we can give a random amount of XP based on how challenging the quest is. So we scroll all the way back down to the bottom. We've got all of this. So based on how challenging our quest is, I would definitely say it's XP misc low level. So it's pretty, it's a pretty rubbish quest. So I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna go to Seddon. So now I'm going to start up by creating a couple of stages. So this will be the first step into a little bit of scripting. So right click new, stage 10, right click new in the log entry, and we can bring up all this. We're going to add some designer notes here, and this is just so that, to remind us what each stage does, but this will never be seen in the game. Player must find the Abraxo. We can also add a log entry, and this will be seen in the Pip-Boy. If you hover over it for long enough, this will come up. So Seddon asked me to find his Abraxo. That'll be fine. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to ignore that. We're going to make the objective show up. So we're going to put in, really simple, set objective displayed, open bracket 10, close bracket. And if we hit compile, nothing should happen because it's right. Yes. Thank God. Okay, so now we're going to create a new stage, which will be stage 20. Right click new. And player has the Abraxo. Time to go back. I found the Abraxo. Better give it to Seddon. And now we're going to put two little lines of I found the borax, better give it to Sheldon. We're going to set objective completed, open brackets 10, close brackets, and we're going to, set objective displayed brackets 20. Compile. And this is just for absolute bare minimum. We will come back later and flesh this out once we've created our relevant aliases and things like that. And now we're just going to hit complete quest to this one. So I'm just going to write I'm done. As we're done. So next we're going to create our quest alias. Oh, we're not going to do that. We're going to hit OK now. And save it. And we're going to place our stuff in the world. So we're going to go to World Space Commonwealth. And I'm going to load up Abernathy Farm when it comes up. Alright, so here we are in the world, and I'm going to place my NPC. I'm just going to scroll down to all with the Seddon filter on. And we're going to put Seddon NPC. Oh, I did give my voice type my name Seddon NPC. It's stupid of me. Drag my Seddon NPC into the game. Just rise him up a little bit and hit F, and I'll drop him right flat on the ground. Then I'm going to put SeddonContainer in. And I'm going to put it right next to him because he's really dozy and forgot that he put his Abraxo in the cigarette machine. A mysterious cigarette machine right in the middle of potatoes. So I'm going to double click this, and I'm going to put initially disabled so that the cigarette machine won't actually appear until we've got the quest. It's a bit of a cheeky way to make our scripting life easier, really, and also explains why Seddon can't find his Abraxo cleaner because the container it's in doesn't even exist. So now we're going to create our aliases. So the first one should be a familiar alias if you've done the other tutorials. It's going to just be for our NPC. So we're going to put unique actor. And we're going to search out Seddon NPC real. There we are. Simple as that. Oh, I forgot to give it a name. So we're going to call it, give the alias name. What the fuck is that? I pasted something that I'd copied. Seddon. How does I manage to paste when I'm typing? Seddon NPC. Okay, there we are. So now we're going to create a new reference. This is going to be a new type of reference alias. We're going to go for specific reference. Select forced reference. Select reference to render window. And we're going to select our cigarette machine. Oh, I've selected the wrong thing. I selected farm plot. We're going to zoom in a little closer. And select reference and render window. SeddonContainer has now been selected. And we're going to hit no for that because we definitely want it to be this type of alias. And we're going to remember to name it this time. So I'm going to call it SeddonContainer. I'm going to hit OK. Now we're going to create our quest object. And now, in older Fallouts, you would just click a little checkbox that said, click quest object. You wouldn't have to think about it again. But in this thing, you have to do something slightly different. And I have absolutely no idea why you can't just click a checkbox. I think it might be because Bethesda hates you. That is one possibility. So I'm going to create a new reference alias. And we're going to click up here, quest object. Going to give it our ID, Seddon object. And now we're going to create reference to object. So we're going to create our object in game here. So we're going to choose our object, and this is the object that we made earlier, which is Seddon object. I don't know what this level easy is. It doesn't appear to do anything. And we're going to create it inside the SeddonContainer alias we made before. So now when this quest loads up, that object will be created inside this alias, and it will be marked then as a quest object. So I'm just going to hit OK and save what I've done so far. So next up, I'm just going to quickly check my notes. Yeah, we're going to want to enable our object next, and then remove our object from the player. So in order to enable this cigarette machine, we're going to create a new property within our papyrus fragment. So we're going to hit properties, and we're going to hit add a property. And we're going to want to, in type, we're going to look for ObjectReference, and we're going to name it. Again, we can name, because this is separate from everything else, we can name it exactly the same thing, SeddonContainer. Okay. And so then we're going to edit value, pick reference and render window, double click that, and it's come up with Abernathy Farm SeddonContainer. Okay, so now the game knows that when I type SeddonContainer, I'm referring to this container here. So we're going to put in SeddonContainer dot enable, and we're going to do open bracket, close bracket to tell the game that enable is a function and not the name of a reference or something like that, or a variable. So hit compile, and nothing's happened, so that means we haven't made any errors. So the next thing we're going to want to do is, at the final completion stage, we're going to want to take the unique object out of a player's inventory. So we're going to create a new property, right click, let's just add property down here, actually we don't have to right click at all. So now we're going to look for misc object, and we're going to call this Seddon object. Now because it's a quest item and only one exists, we can get away with doing it like this. And because I named it Seddon object, it already knows to pick object Seddon object, which is the unique object we made before. Jeez, it's so overly complicated. I'm finding this, and this is even going to get even more overly complicated. We're going to type in Game.GetPlayer, open bracket, close bracket, dot, remove item, and in brackets, our object, which was Seddon object. And what this does is it calls the function getPlayer. So it's telling us that the player will have the item removed Seddon object, which points then, this alias then points to Seddon object in the game, and it should work fine now. There we go. And I think it's like this because the Papyrus scripts are separate from the game, so they're not actually part of a game. So in order to communicate with the game, we have to create an alias in the script and have the alias know then that it's referencing the object in the game. So it's kind of a way to get the game and the scripts to communicate. It's kind of the impression I'm getting. Or I might be talking absolute shite and it's nothing to do with that. God only knows. So let me see what else we have to do next. I think that is everything for stages. I think we now have to move on to dialogue. We can move on to dialogue, or we can set up the scripting in the object. So I think I'm going to set up the scripting in the object. Seddon object. And now, there are loads of different ways to add scripts. You can either add scripts directly to a reference if you want it to be a non-unique fetch quest, but because we're a unique fetch quest, we're going to add our script directly to this object here. And you could also add this same script to the alias for the objects we created earlier, but you don't need to do that. So we're going to click add, which is taking its time. And we're going to click new script, and we're going to hit OK. And we're going to give it a name, Seddon script, and we can ignore all the rest of it because this is all fine. And we're going to hit OK. And now this has been added and it's got all this stuff. So we're going to right click, edit source. And now I've already prepared a script in advance. I'm going to click here like this. Oh no, wait. That's for a different mod. This is my script that I prepared in advance. Right click, copy. Paste. Paste this in, and now I'm just going to explain what this does. So event OnContainerChanged, and this means that when this object here, this misc item changes its container, this will run. So this is like the begin stuff in the old things. And we've created some object references. So object reference akNewContainer, object reference akOldContainer. If akNewContainer equals Game.GetPlayer, we're going to set stage 20. And now the thing is, SeddonQuest, this doesn't mean anything to the script, so we're going to need to create a property for it here. So I'm going to put quest property. So this is telling the game that it's a quest property. SeddonQuest auto const like that, and if I hit save, that has worked now. So this auto const, I'm not 100% sure what it allows. I think the const means that it's, a constant one and it won't ever change. And this auto, I think, will allow us to edit it like outside of this script. But this is what I've done in testing, and this has worked exactly. So I'm going to hit close now, and I'm going to put that. I'll put that whole script in the thing, but you will have to remember. I'll put this all in the description. But you will have to remember to change where I put SeddonQuest to the ID of your own quest, whatever that might be. So we're going to hit OK now and save. There's going to be a brief interruption right in the middle of my tutorial because I got right to the end and realised I made a mistake and thought I can't just slam all my mistakes on at the end. So if we remember earlier in our misc item we created this Seddon script and we created a property. I did accidentally forget to define the property, so we need to go to Edit Properties. And we'll see here, this is the property we created, it has nothing in it. We need to actually pick a quest. SeddonQuest. I completely forgot to do that. So now we go to Edit Source and you'll see the quest property. I created a property here, fine. But I forgot to direct the property to the SeddonQuest. I thought it was going to work automatically, but I was wrong. So yeah, even in my notes, I just kept on missing things to put in, so I can only apologise for that mistake. So now, after this cut, it'll launch back into the rest of the tutorial. Hopefully it won't be too awkward. And so now that is all the scripting is set up now. It's just going to be a simple case of creating our dialogue. So this should be what we covered in the last few tutorials, but I'm going to go over it all again anyway. So I'm going to create a new scene. SeddonQuest scene, okay. And I'm going to make sure I've clicked on it and hit player dialogue. And then I'm going to put a new actor, Seddon NPC, which is the alias we created earlier. So we're going to create a greeting for him here, and it will prompt us to give it an ID. So we could call it SeddonQuest greeting. Okay. So I'm going to put, help me, I've lost my ObjectReference. Can you help me find it? Ignore. I've lost my borax cleaner. So now we're going to condition it. We're going to put two conditions. We're going to put get his ID for Seddon NPC real, which is the NPC I made earlier. And I'm going to put a get stage condition. It will default us to SeddonQuest. So we're going to put get stage equals 0. So that means the quest hasn't started. Okay. So now all these have come up now, which is what we want. So if we go back into these greetings, we can create a few other greetings. So I'm just going to go back into this one and copy all conditions to save me some time. And I'm going to create a new greeting, and I'm going to put our next one shall be go find my Abraxo. Ignore. Okay. And now I'm going to paste my conditions in here, but I'm going to change, not forget his ID, I'm going to change the SeddonQuest one to equals 10. So now when it's stage 10, i.e. when we're searching for the Abraxo, all he will say is go find my Abraxo. So we're going to hit requires player activation on this actually. And if we launch back in here, we're going to put requires player activation as well. So we'll do another one. Do you have my Abraxo? And this will be once the player has found the Abraxo. So this will be for stage 20. So we're going to paste these conditions in, and I'm going to put SeddonQuest has to equal stage 20 for this one to show up. And now we're going to do one, I forgot to put the requires player activation prompt in. Now we're going to do one for when the player is finished. Thanks for getting my Abraxo. Okay. Okay. Paste in our conditions and change it so that this one has to equal stage 30, which was the completion stage we made earlier. And I'll make sure it requires player activation. So now we're going to add a new phase. So we're going to add phase at end, and we're going to give it a name. Quest give phase. Okay. So now that we've got a second phase set up, we can return to our greetings. And for help, I've lost my Abraxo cleaner. Can you help me find it? We're going to have it start a scene, SeddonQuest scene at phase. Oh, for the love of. We're going to have to OK out of everything to get that to show up. So now we're going to have it. Yep. Scene, SeddonQuest scene at quest give phase, start scene on end. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to new action, player dialogue. I'm just going to OK out of this so I can get this up here. Now, you can add things for every single one of these if you want. So we're going to, this is what the player is going to say. I'll help you get it. Okay. Oh, I just added a prompt I didn't add. So that was a prompt, so we're going to put I'll help you get it in here. So now this is for when the player accepts the quest. The NPC will say, "Thank you, for God's sake, you so much. I know it's around here somewhere." And so now we're going to set the stage. Now this is dead easy, thank God. So we're going to go to our on end, and if we just hit set quest parent quest stage, you'll see here's all our stages we made earlier. But we're going to set stage 10. So that's like dead easy. And for the negative response, we're going to put a prompt. No, I can't be arsed. And we're going to have, what did I do then? No, I can't be arsed. That's the player's response. I may have added arsed to the dictionary by accident. Okay. And we're going to have him say, "Please help me. Come back if you change your mind." And we're going to end running scene because the player's been a massive arse. And you can add extra ones to these, but it'll be exactly the same as that. So I'm just going to leave these blank just for the sake of me not taking forever to do this tutorial. So now let me just have a quick think about what I need to do next. That should be all of that set up. So we'll go for a new scene now. So I'm going to call it SeddonQuest.End. Okay. And we're going to, it's going to include some player dialogue, new actor, set an NPC. So now, we want, can we select this? Do you have my Abraxo? We're going to want it to start SeddonQuest.End scene. Okay. Okay. So now this is showing up. We unfortunately have a blank greeting, but it doesn't really matter. As I messed it up a little bit, but it should work fine. So we're going to put new phase at end. Finish phase. New action. Player dialogue. I'm just going to hit OK so we get this right up. Prompt. I've got it right here. I forgot to add a response. Got it right here. Okay. And the NPC will say, "Thank you so much. Pass it over. Have some caps as payment." And so I wasn't going to have payment, but I think I may as well show you how to add some payment. So we're going to run parent stage, and we're going to go to stage 30, which is I'm done. Okay. And if we go back to our earlier stages, we can go to quest 30, we can add the payment here. So we're going to need to add a new property in order to direct the game to caps. So we're going to add property. It'll be a misc object. And I'm going to name it caps 001. And the game already knows what cap 001 refers to. It refers to cap 001. So we're going to put Game.GetPlayer, and open brackets, close brackets, it's a function, dot add item caps 001, comma 100, compile. There we go. And so now we can go back to our scenes and continue working on this. And we're going to put the player being a dick. No, I'll keep hold of it, I think. And the response text can be, no, I'll keep hold of it, I think. And we'll have the NPC be a little bit sad about this, really. Let's make him sad. So we can choose a little expression for him to have. This probably won't show up properly without having any lit files. Let's make him angry. No. Please give me my Abraxo. Don't leave. And we're going to ignore it. Okay, and we're going to end running scene on this one. Okay. So that should basically be everything. I'll run through exactly what happens here at each stage. So we have our first greeting, which is in this one, help me, I've lost my Abraxo cleaner, can you find it? And when the player accepts the quest, I'll help you get it, stage 10 is set. And now if we go over to MISC, we can see all the other greetings we've created. Go find my Abraxo, which doesn't start any scenes, will only run when it's stage 10. And stage 10 is what was set by the acceptance of that thing. And because of the script we wrote earlier, when the player collects the quest object, stage 20 is set. And when stage 20 is set, we have do you have my Abraxo? It's coming up, which will start the quest end stage at the quest end scene at finish phase. And then finish phase has, I mean, you can be a dick and not give it back to him if you want, but if you give it back to him, it'll set stage 30. And when stage 30 is set, we are completed and we will get 100 caps and the item will be removed. The stage will be complete and we'll be rewarded the amount of XP that we created earlier. Okay, before I go into the game, actually, there is one final thing I forgot to do. Didn't make any objectives for the quest. So we're going to create, right-click New, 10. Find Seddon's Abraxo. And our target ref, New. And now we can't just select things in render window anymore. We have to use aliases we created. So our alias will be SeddonContainer, because that is where the Abraxo is stored. Now we're going to create an objective for stage 20. And we're going to put in our display text, return to Seddon. And we're going to put a new target in, which will be, it's already selected Seddon NPC, so that's convenient for us. And that is definitely, hopefully, the last thing that we need to do. So now I'm going to dive into the game and demonstrate this working for real this time. So here I am in the game, and there's my Seddon NPC there and no cigarette machine, so we'll speak to him. Help me, I've lost my Abraxo cleaner, can you find it? Obviously he's naked because he can't clean his clothes because he's lost his Abraxo cleaner. I'll help you get it. Thank you so much, I know it's around here somewhere. Seddon search. Oh look, his cigarette machine's appeared by magic. And if we select the quest, we can see it's appearing here. And I've tagged some stuff in it for search, so it's glowing, but let's pick it up. Completed, find Seddon's Abraxo, return to Seddon. And if we go to Pill Aid MISC, Seddon's Abraxo cleaner should be in here, and not able to drop it. Wouldn't it be funny if I was able to drop it and I'd just freak out? I'll probably have to stop the tutorial again then, because there's been too many mistakes. You cannot remove quest items from your inventory. Let's speak to him. Do you have my Abraxo? I've got it right here. Thank you so much. Pass it over. Have some caps as payment. Yay! It completed and it worked fine. Now I've killed him because I'm fed up of this quest because it took me so many times to get it to work. I hope that was useful. I hope that was able to follow. I mean, I know there were quite a few cuts and I made quite a few mistakes because it is quite complicated, and normally if you make a mistake when you're modding, you can just fix it quietly in testing, but in a tutorial it can mess up the entire thing. So yeah, hopefully that was useful and hopefully it was clear. I'll try and do more advanced quests later, and I'm working up to the follower tutorial, and then people keep on asking for it. The only thing I have left to teach myself is how to get the affinity stuff working properly. Like, I've managed to get a follower who will accept commands and who will follow me around and stuff like that. I just need to get the affinity working and the dialogue and stuff. So yeah, that's that. Hopefully that was useful. Thanks for watching and goodbye.